Because it's bullshit.
See that, I believe.
It's bullshit, Danny.
My feelings are bullshit to you. You've been getting by your whole life. Oh, no,
I didn't say that.
You've been getting by your whole life on being cute and nice. Somebody's finally calling you out on your shit and you can't handle it.
Okay, I think I'm ready to try to unpack what the hell happened between Danny and Preston. I was very much so caught off guard by Danny's conversation with Preston. We knew it was going to be an interesting, awkward moment just because Preston walks in as El Fuego is trying to leave. So she has some explaining to do. Like, what is this dude doing at your house? We know that she had been calling Preston and he didn't return her phone calls the night before.
What are you doing here?
I just wanted to stop by.
You wanted to stop by. No call, text, smoke signal, ignoring me. I don't.
He says that he lost his phone. And all of this spurs the conversation of Danny breaking down Preston's white privilege. Yes, y'all. His white privilege. I am as bewildered, as befuddled, as confused, and any other big word for what the hell is actually going on.
What the hell?
Hey.
That is me. I am she. I'm really torn because I really like the idea of the storyline having this conversation with the interracial couple, but it has to actually fit the couple that's actually having the conversation. And my biggest issue about this whole thing is the stuff that she was saying didn't feel like it actually aligned with the person that Preston is or the character that we have seen throughout this series. Like, she tells him that she wants to be able to tell him this or speak openly and have the conversation as productive as possible. She's been reading books and listening to podcasts.
Been working on me. Listening to podcasts, reading books, and I've been trying to figure out how to say what's on my mind in the most productive way possible.
Girl, when? Where? Because the only thing that we've seen locked by your side is that weed pen, honey. Girl, what are you talking about? We have not seen you listen to no podcast. We have not heard you or seen you read no book. We haven't even seen you actually really discuss his whiteness and how his whiteness is manifesting within y'all's relationship until you just said it just now. You ain't even said this to Sabrina. And I get, like, one thing that she says is it took a while for her to process because it was all a lot. And I guess that's what all of the, I don't know, it's just something is off. I don't know, just something is off that we were seeing throughout seasons 2 and 3. But even that is just like, well, you seem to pull it all together right now, ma'am. You didn't just arrive at this thought when Fuego opened the door to exit. Like, you didn't just land upon his white privilege then. So I would have needed for Tyler Perry as the writer to have planted the seeds a little bit better, and not necessarily to give this away that this was coming, but to have a little bit more grounds for Danny to stand on. She made quite a few arguments, so, and I'm just so torn because yes, white privilege is a thing. It's something that you have to discuss within interracial relationships, but are y'all even in a relationship, Danny? What are y'all doing? Because 1 minute y'all were going right along smoothly, just beautifully, the relationship was progressing swimmingly, and you have him move in, he pays your rent, he cooking for you every night and rubbing your feet and doing all types of stuff and just trying his damn best, and then all of a sudden you don't want him there. And from this conversation, it seems like part of that was rooted in feeling unsafe and uncomfortable in her own home.
I don't think you understand how betrayed and unsafe I felt in my own home.
And I'm sorry about that. I don't know how many times I can say that.
But see, now I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch some of these episodes because when did the brother show up at her airline? Like I think he moved in. He did move in after the fact. Like, my thing is, she moved along this whole time as if things were fine, and now she's coming to say that everything was completely not fine the entire time. It's like, well, girl, you sure did play it off very well, Danny. You really played it off very well. It felt like when she was asking Preston to leave, the reason why she was asking Preston to leave was because he was smothering her. He was too on her. He was too attentive. He was giving too much attention. Like, it didn't have nothing. It didn't seem like it had anything to do with you feeling unsafe, you feeling uncomfortable, or you feeling like your boundaries were not being respected, or you weren't being respected.
Well, one, you don't respect my boundaries.
Me? I don't respect you?
Yeah.
I guess what I struggle with is because from the outside looking in, Preston has appeared to be always respectful. So to even say that he has been disrespectful of her boundaries or disrespectful of her, it's just like, well, girl, when? Yes, bringing the sister to her house without telling her or asking her or anything was a problem. Yes. Okay, we can go ahead and put that in the disrespect bucket. That was some unintentional disrespect. It was a little ignorant disrespect. Like, he really just didn't cognitively recognize the problem with that. And she presented that and he apologized for that. She said, okay, that was supposed to be the end, but this is something that has been ruminating with her. Let's take a listen.
I believe you.
Do you?
But yeah, but they beat you down. You think they can't just take her phone and find my address?
Okay, cool. The problem with that is that the brothers could have found your address from the sister. The brothers could have found your address, Danny, by following Danny. The brothers could have found your address, Danny, by coming back up to the airline and following you home. So the whole thing was dangerous. But even that, like, the sister should not have been there. This is a problem, yes. But the harping on it, I'm just like, okay, girl, well, if you want it to be done, then I think that you should have just been done. Because playing as if you were fine, which I get is a trauma response at times, it's a coping mechanism at times, but it just isn't conducive of you actually having this healthy, boundary respecting relationship that you so think that Preston is violating. And y'all, let me know in the comment section down below if you disagree at any point, because I would love to have a dialogue with y'all about how you feel or what you think after seeing this, because I'm really at a loss. Like, while I want to stand with black women, stand with specifically Danny, this character in this moment where she's saying these concerns, part of me is like kind of calling bullshit like Preston on some of them, because just what we were given in reference to the material, I don't know whether it's the writing or what, but what we were given, it just does not line up for the characterization to actually be true. And it feels like, not that the sisters is Danny's fault or the brothers are Danny's fault or any of that part is Danny's fault, but it feels like there's still so much of this relationship tension that Danny isn't actually taking responsibility for as well. And there's some stuff that she hasn't even unearthed in herself to be able to face, and she's kind of putting it all off on Preston. And I'm just like, huh, girl? Because out of all of the guys, well, not all of the guys, because I think that Zach is actually the best guy on this show, but Preston is like right after him for me, or at least Preston and Zach are kind of neck and neck for me, honestly. And I don't know if that says something good or bad depending on where you fall in the reference to like how you feel about Zach as a character, but those two are the best guys on this series. And Preston has, to me, made mistakes, but then has also recovered and tried to make up for them. Like, he never ran away from his mistakes. He hasn't deflected or anything. Even in how he was receiving all that she was saying in this conversation, like, yes, he was defensive. He had a defensive stance, but he was listening. And I guess it could look like he wasn't actually listening, but it felt like he was listening to me, and he was listening enough to be able to call bullshit by the end and be like, girl, this is not just all about that, but if that's what you want to believe, that's what you want to believe.
It's bullshit.
See that, I believe.
It's bullshit, Danny.
My feelings are bullshit to you.
And honestly, I have been calling for Preston to grab his pride and his self-respect and walk away from the table. You get up and walk away from the table once love is no longer being served. And Danny had not been serving love for a while, so I have been asking Preston to walk out. I've been like wanting Preston to just walk away from Danny and leave her to her own devices, because it was just very unclear of whatever the hell she had going on. So when he said after this whole conversation, like, I want you to hear this, don't call me, I was like, well, there you have it. There you daggone have it. But all right, I done talked a little bit. Is Danny right about Preston? That's the title of this video. That's what I really want to get down to. And honestly, y'all, 24 hours, like 12 hours after the show premiere, after watching 2 times, I'm gonna say no, not fully. There are certain things that definitely could be corrected, and there are certain things that could have been dealt with, but I'm gonna say that Danny is not actually correct about Preston in full, because it just doesn't line up. Even when they were having a conversation and Preston was like, I apologize for this, I apologize for that, you don't even give me credit, and she makes the statement of, you don't get credit without doing the work. That's called white privilege. I thought that line was so beautiful.
You didn't even realize you recreated the middle passage, but you want credit for apologizing? Credit without doing the work is called white privilege. Preston.
However, he wasn't just saying he wanted credit for apologizing. I think he wanted credit for adjusting. Every single thing that Danni has thrown at him, he has been accountable for, he has apologized for, he has stood tall in, and he's adjusted. When she threw him out after he paid all the rent, what'd he do? Okay, I'll go, but I still want to see you. When she wants to see him, he's there, and he's trying not to overstay his welcome. So sometimes he's overcompensated, like, all right, I'm gonna go. And she's like, no, I want you to say, nope, you said you didn't want me around this much time, you didn't want me to do this, you didn't want me to do that, so he's not doing it. She said that he, the landlord let him in 2 times. That hadn't happened after the second time, after she was like, no, this is like a problem.
Showing up unannounced, even though I've asked you not to. You had my landlord let you in without my permission twice. But I guess, you had steak and you had flowers and you're nice. So I'm supposed to be okay with it, right?
And okay, he did show up unannounced, but he said he lost his phone. I don't know. Like even him showing up today, he didn't show up and like, well, he knocked. He didn't have the landlord let him in today. It's like, girl, he has done some work, and when you presented him with issues or when you presented him with concerns, he has made adjustments and tried to correct it as best as he could with the information that he was given. But you also haven't given him all of the information. And granted, maybe you're just getting to the point where you have processed it and you can be able to articulate all of this, but you've left no room for him to really fully make a full turnaround or whatever, and completely discrediting all of the work that he's done. I was just like, for me, that's a stretch, because he's not just one of those white people asking for credit because they apologize. Like, he actually has shown you some changed behavior. He has shown you some adjustments, and that's what he's trying to ask for credit for.
I apologized for that.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, so give me some damn credit.
And in all honesty, I think he's also trying to ask for credit for the fact that he really still wants to be in this. It was clear to me that Preston wanted Danni from the jump. And he wants her. He wants to learn more about her. He wants to connect more with her. He wants to share his life with her. It's not clear that Danni actually wants Preston. And I think that might be the whole problem here, girl. It's either you don't actually want to be happy, and I'm not trivializing all of her concerns down to that, because she, like I said, she is right in the whole sisters thing and the brothers and the safety. And I'm going to give her part of that is in the disrespect of boundaries and all of that. So I'm gonna give her part of that. A good portion of this, girl, is you not actually being able to go with peace, not being able to settle and be grounded in happiness and in a healthy relationship. And a healthy relationship doesn't look like everything is perfect all the time. Y'all could 100% have these conversations and figure out how you move forward. That's a part of a healthy relationship. But Danni, to me, takes these stances that kind of blows everything up versus really trying to be productive, like she said, and communicating with your partner, setting boundaries that are clear. Like, it's really hard to respect people's boundaries that are not clear. Girl, can we get I do not want you showing up unannounced at my house ever? Because I can't recall one of those. I didn't realize it was that big of a deal, but I'm a type of person where my friends and stuff can pop up on me. I don't have a problem with that. Can he get some clear understanding of what you actually want out of y'all's relationship, Danni? Because you all over the place, girl. Point blank period, your ass is all over the damn place. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to what I said. I don't think that Danni's right about Preston. I think that she has him all wrong, and I think that him walking out is going to be one of the things that she regrets, and we might actually see that play out over the season. I think it's going to be interesting to see. Again, I really love the conversation of white privilege within this interracial relationship. I wish it was set up better, but maybe part of the storyline is for her to be inaccurate and to be overcorrected and to jump to this conclusion and then have to adjust later on. Maybe that's something that we're going to see. Who knows? But now it's your turn, y'all. Is Danni right about Preston? Let me know in the comment section down below. Some of y'all have already been replying to my initial thoughts videos, so shout out to y'all. I want to read a couple of the comments that I thought were just super passionate and insightful real quick. Jaria Jackson says, Danni. In her defense, she has mentioned these issues to the sister circle, but she should have discussed them with Preston. This episode has me question face. Kathy Leonard says, yes, sir, Bob. Preston is a good and respectful, caring guy that Danni don't need to be with. She needs to continue with her one-night stands, and the one that really cared for her, she's not sure she wants. Okay. Debbie Hill says, Preston is a good guy. Danni is disappointing me with her attitude with Preston. Mary Barnes says, Danni should really be with Preston. Tragina Chase says, The excuses Danny come up with were trifling as hell. If she really thought she was like a slave, she could have cut him off instantly. After the break-in as well, she didn't. She kept him around until she got caught with Fuego. Danny, be a woman about it. If you felt this way, why were you so concerned with him calling or ignoring you? Him living with his family. You said you wanted your space and he gave it to you. Now y'all don't have boundaries. He got his ass whipped for you, shaking my head. Well, he already said what most of us were thinking. Danny just wants to do her, which she could have cut him off in that case. He's a good man. Maybe she's not used to his ways, but he's not a bad person. All right, y'all. Like I said, I think that Danny got Preston kind of wrong. I'm not going to say all wrong, but I'm going to say kind of wrong. And I would love for y'all to continue the conversation in the comment section down below. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss any of my sisters' videos. And I will see you in my next one, which will be dropping tomorrow. Because you know we got that heat coming regularly. Subscribe. All right. See ya.